I know I look horrible. I want to make a very brief rant on James Arthur. Because what the hell is that guy's problem? What the fuck is he on about? It's like, okay, he's been bitching for about 7 or 8 hours now on Twitter about boy bands and how he hates them and whatever the fuck. And he's talking shit about Union J, he's talking shit about Louis, One Direction, everything. And it's just so hypocritical. His album was released 2 days ago, or something else. And, you know, I have to say, like, right now I'm listening to James Arthur. I've loved the song, you know, for a few days now. And I like James Arthur's music. You know, I always have. But the only reason I ever even supported him in the first place when he was on the X Factor was because of Louis. But then I really do like his music. But I wouldn't have known who he was if it weren't for Louis. The only people I really followed last year in the X Factor were like Union J and a little bit of District 3, not really though. Maybe Ella, I don't know. But, you know, it's baffling now because, like, Louis supported him so substantially last year in the X Factor. Like, he was, like, Louis' favorite, and he even thanked Louis about the support and how he appreciated it and whatnot. And now he's going off slagging Louis, saying, you know, he called him a little bitch and said all these things about how he doesn't like boy bands because they're all merchandise and marketing instead of the music and whatever. Look, pal, just because it's not your genre of music doesn't mean that people don't like it. Personally, it's not my genre of music either, but, you know, you have to kind of almost look past that sometimes. Not all of their songs are shit, and they do write some of their songs, like their own music, and you can't say that they don't, and it pisses me off when people say that kind of shit. Especially when people talk shit about Louis, because Louis is not a bad person, but then you have people like ungrateful people like James Arthur that go around and talk shit. Like, he said that Louis like told him off on a text message or something. I don't fucking know. Pal, I would tell you off too if I gave you all my support and then you wouldn't trash talk me later on. That's rude. Like, I don't care who you are, but that's really, really rude. And that's just how ungrateful and appreciative you are. And, I mean, seriously? Louis supported him so fucking much. To be honest, like, all of One Direction were pretty supportive of James Arthur last year in the X Factor, but Louis was a total James Arthur stan. And then James Arthur just goes back and is like, I don't care about fame, lol, fuck boy bands. And then he goes on to trash Union J and saying how, I didn't promote their album. And then Ryland's over here running his mouth saying how, you know, for all the contestants of the X Factor last year worked hard to get where they were, and we all, you know, support each other. No, you don't, clearly. Like, that's all fucking bullshit. And I think I don't know if James Arthur is like high today or some shit, or he's attention seeking because it seems like it. But it pisses me off how people use One Direction and then go off and say such horrible things about them. It makes me so mad. And people need to really fucking stop doing it. Because One Direction are a nice group of boys, and you're taking advantage of that, and it makes me so fucking mad. Like, I like James Arthur. I mean, no, and this is the thing that's so hypocritical, is James Arthur, like, he likes One Direction, he likes the members of One Direction, etc. I have a James Arthur tag on Tumblr, and I remember last year, like, right after he won the X Factor, he was on the BBC Radio on Breakfast Show with Nick Grimshaw, and here's a conversation him and Nick had. I read something on the internet, like, I'm going to start writing for 1D. And then James said, yeah, I've accumulated some songs over the last 10 years, and I have a few songs that if I were to bring them out, maybe it would be a bit lame at that point in my life, whereas One Direction would totally kill them, and if they wanted material, I'd be more than happy to. Like, what the fuck? And now you're going off saying all this shit about them? You're a fucking hypocrite, mate. You let fame change you immensely. And I don't have respect for people like that. I hate people with that kind of attitude, and, you know, that's so disrespectful. And he's like, oh, I didn't forget where I came from. I think the X Factor at least 100 times a day. No, you don't. Okay? You don't. And forgetting, yeah, clearly you did kind of forget who gave you a lot of support. And he's like, well, I got a lot of fans from, like, Ed and Rita and all these other people supporting me. Okay. But One Direction's fan base is the largest fan base. Like, that's where you got the majority of fans from. I'm not even gonna lie, that's where you got me from. And clearly, he's just like, if you only like me because of that, then I don't want you as a fan anyway. Then fuck you. Like, why am I even wasting my time? It's just so annoying. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm just tired of people using One Direction and stuff. And then the fucking James Arthur fans are like, James is just speaking his opinion. Yeah, but you don't understand. It's rude when someone is, like, nice to you and supports you all the fucking way, and then you go and trash talk them, and then they tell you off for trash talking them, and then you trash talk them even more for telling you off, and call them a little bitch and all this sort of shit. Like, Louis had every right to confront James about talking shit on One Direction. Especially after all the things that those boys did for him. Fuck you, James Arthur. I'm fucking done. I can't. To be honest, I never was fond of his personality, but I liked his voice and liked his music, so I disregarded it. But now I don't even know. Fuck it. Like, he may be talented, but honey, no, you are not One Direction level of fame. You can't sit here and trash talk people. Like, that just gives you a really bad name in this fandom, so I suggest you stop. I'm so annoyed.